don't have you, if I don't have you, $1 million question. If you could give credit to one person, no second choices, none, one person, credit for what they have attributed to your success, who would it be? Think about it, and we'll talk on the other side of the intro.
Like diamonds, I'm watching how you glow.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy AJ here, coming through your TV screen, your phone screen, your laptop screen, and beyond. How you bloody doing, mate? So, I hope you've been thinking. I hope you figured it out. And I want y'all to drop your answers in the comment section. If you could give credit to one person for what they've attributed to your success, who would it be? If you've followed the series from the beginning, which you should, and if you haven't, you better go check that out. Like, you need to right now. You should be going, bruh. It's like, no. But if you've been following the series from the beginning, you've heard me talk about my mother in a video. The video is titled about inspiration, and I said my mother was my inspiration, which if you watch that video, it's gonna be obvious that she's the answer to this question, but no, not because she's my mother. Even if she was my worst enemy, let that sink in. Yeah. Even if she was an estranged friend, let that sink in. Yeah. Even if we just had a falling out and we never spoken for the rest of our lives, she would still be the answer to that question. And this is the part where you'd be like, why? My mother has been through a lot as a person. Beyond the struggles of motherhood, like it got real. And me and my mother, like we have created this tight-knit bond where it's like, yeah, she's really important and I'm really important to her. So I'm just very fortunate to have had the ability to like bond with my mother on that level, because a lot of people don't. But shout out to the people who don't. I understand and I sympathize, but I've just been really lucky in that regard. But here's the thing though, it's not what you think she's getting the credit for. See, when my father died when I was 5, my mother was like stuck in this weird position where she had 3 kids and she had to mother and father them while trying to make ends meet, which became very difficult when you're living in a third world country which barely has resources to do anything at all. So it's like, how do you navigate that process? My mother has done a remarkable job of raising an ugly bud like myself. I know. But I'll tell you a little story. There was one day, when cause she used to work like 3 jobs to make ends meet, and there was one day we got home early, and she was coming home from work, and I usually greet her at the doorway every day when she gets, hi mom, hi, mommy's here, right? That, you know how kids are. So on that day, she came My mother struggles with arthritis, chronic arthritis, and hypertension. What we in Jamaica would call high blood pressure. So on that day, she came home exhausted from work, and all of that was acting up. The arthritis and the high blood pressure, and her thing was through the roof. So she came into the doorway, and I opened the door, and what was supposed to be a "Hey mom, you're home" moment turned into my mom. My mom actually blacked out in front of me and fainted in my arms. No, I'm probably yay high, and my mom was at the time yay high. So you can imagine how that went. Passed out and she fainted because her blood pressure got too high, and my mom was rushed to the hospital. One of the scariest days of my life, because I thought I had lost the last thing I had left to live for. Crazy. I say that to say this. She is to get the credit because of what she has done to get me in front of this camera speaking to you today. I can't, even if me and my mother had like completely became enemies, there are some things you just don't forget. And there are some things you just don't let go of. And it's like, it's the trauma she went through, dealt with, and burdened in all of the different stresses that comes with being a mother and an adult. My mother dealt with them fiercely to get me in front of this camera talking rubbish to you today. Yeah, I can't see myself giving that credit to anybody else, because boy, I tell you. And one of the things I love about my mother is her ability to be so optimistic, which is, she recently told me that's something she got from my dad. So when my father died, it was a rough scenario. Yeah, you know how things be when parents die, or when you lose a significant person in your life. So my mother was going through a lot, and she was processing a lot, but she held on to the idea of things are gonna get better, but they're gonna get worse before they get better. And she was right to hold on to that thought, because here I am again, saying this again, standing in front of this camera talking rubbish to you. I couldn't do it without her. I could not do it without her. So I bring it back to the question: who do you give that credit to? And please, oh my God, please, don't shy away from who you really want to give the credit to. Even if it's somebody you don't speak to now, even if it's somebody you're not very fond of now, be honest with me. Who would you give that credit to? Is it a friend? Is it an enemy? Is it a befriend? Is it a befrienemy? If you want to mix the words together, I don't know. But who would it be? Let me know. I'm out here. If you can see the background behind me, I love bodies of water. I love them. If you haven't figured that out by now, I said that in a couple of videos ago, but I love bodies of water. So we are out here by the river, and I'm just chilling with y'all in 25-degree weather. Don't judge me, okay? I love you. I love you. I'm weird too. I know. But we're gonna be rolling. We're gonna be strolling. And think about it. Think about it.
Baby, you had me at hello, hello, hello. I'm going anywhere you go. Hello, hello. I wanna smash it on the low. Hello, hello. Like diamonds, I'm watching how you glow. Hello, hello.
to show you guys something real quick. So, come here. I need to show you this. I gotta climb up these stairs. Ah, I just fell down. Okay. All right. Just look at it. Just look at it. Take a real second out of your busy schedule. Just look at it. God's finest creation, H2O. Who would have thought? This is a little mini staircase. I'm gonna tilt the camera so y'all can see. It's a little mini staircase slash dock-ish, where you can just either pull up like a boat or whatever you sail out here and just get off and be on dry land. But it's a nice little place that I've been. You can't see me right now because it's like really dark. It's a nice little place for you to like relax and just view. Just look at it. Look, oh my God. How could you not love it? Bodies of water are so beautiful. Okay, don't judge me, all right? I just love it. It brings me peace of mind. But back to the question. Who would you give that credit to? I want to tell you another story. Okay? Another story. If my dad lived long enough, he would have been a part of this video. As in the answer to it. He is partly, but I never got a chance to really like know him, so I can't really say, hey, my dad. But I can say my mom because we've been through a lot. But I'll tell you a story. So there was one day, right? So we back. This is back when I was in Jamaica. There was like one day, my dad was coming home from work. My mom told me this story. So my dad was coming home from work. I think he got out somewhere of his car and he got jumped. He got robbed. And he got beaten within an inch of his life. He got home to my mother and they were talking, and it just so happens coincidentally there was no food or nothing in the house to eat. So they were broke, beaten, and starving. And my mom said, out of fear, she looked at my dad and asked him, what are we gonna do? And he was like, we are alive. You should be smiling right now. Being hungry is the smallest problem we have. Let's focus on the bigger picture. And that optimism, when she told me that story, I said, are you for real? Like, he just got swollen eye, black eye, bleeding, busted lip, and he's still optimistic. And my mom my mom has taken that I was gonna say my mom passed down that that optimism, but she didn't. She has kept that optimism from him, and I literally adore her for it, because it's that said optimism that has allowed her to be this significant in my life, that I can make this video and tell you that her credit is due. I give it fully to her. That I wish sometimes there are times when I wish I got to know my father better, but there's also a saying that my mom used to say: everything happens for a reason. So the passing and the struggles and the trauma and everything adds up to me being in front of this camera right now talking rubbish to you. You gotta love it. Everything adds up. But hey, I'm gonna need you to just take this body in. Take that body of water in. Soak it up. Love it up with me, man. We out here. It gets better. Hey! Who I just ran into? My little statue friend here. I don't even know what the hell this is. Like, y'all architects y'all just be coming up with anything, huh? It's like, no. Oh, man. Yeah. Anyway. Here's the thing. I'm gonna give y'all another little story. So you've learned a lot about my background so far, my history, my past. I like to tell these stories. There was one day where I was going to school and my mom usually walks me to the bus stop, right? This was recently after our father died. And I was at the bus stop and I was waiting on the bus and she stood there and she like broke out in tears. And I'm looking up at my mother, right? And I asked her, I never forget this day. I asked her what's wrong. And she looked at me and she was like, I couldn't even begin to tell you. And she started crying. So, me being the musician that I am, ta-da, 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 I held my mother's hand in the moment and I sang for her. That's the moment I actually fell in love with music. Cause like, I realized the power it has. And I sang for my mom, and I know y'all gonna be like, what did you sing? Sing for us. No, I know I did a number for you in the intro. Y'all just be, come on, man. One song ain't good enough. It's like, no, I'm playing. But I sang for her in the moment to comfort her, and it made her entire week. Yeah, me and my mom has this tight-knit bond. I just can't give up now. Come too far from where I've started from. And nobody told me the road would be easy, and I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me, yeah. And I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. That was a gospel song that I used to love. When I say I freaking love the song, because I grew up in a church. It's a gospel song I loved to sing as a kid. And I sang it at the bus stop in that moment. Comforted my mother. And believe it or not, here is the irony to me telling you that story. She said to me recently, I think it was last year, we had a moment and I just randomly looked up at her and I just said, I love you. Because I do that with my mother sometimes. And she looked at me and she was saying to me that moment when we were at that bus stop and I sang for her was what kept her going all this time. So everything she has done to gain the credit I'm giving today was based on that moment in time. Ironic, ain't it? Ironic. So I was her inspiration and she's mine. Now I have to give her credit for everything that she's done. Ain't that some shiznit? Yeah. Life can be a beautiful thing, man. And in closing, I pose the question again. I want you guys to talk to me. Drop it in the comments. Talk amongst yourselves. Let me see the conversations. If you were to give credit for one person for what they've attributed to your success, who would that be? With that question asked. I love you. I love you. And I'll see you next time.
Like diamonds, I'm watching how you glow.